And Ipswich, having worked their way into the top two over the winter months, a 7-game win streak at home, picked up the odd decent away result, now drop out of the top two again. And, I mean, I suppose on the one hand, there's a lot of blame attached to Ipswich because they just haven't really hit fifth gear at any point this season. It's felt like third, and a lot of the teams we've mentioned, I think I've seen Hull in fifth gear. God, I think I've seen Southampton in fifth gear. I've seen Millwall in fifth gear. I've definitely seen Coventry and Middlesbrough in fifth gear, and it just doesn't feel like Ipswich have ever hit those levels. But then you can argue as well, even though they're not on 2 points per game, Middlesbrough and Coventry have kept Ipswich very honest, haven't they? Borough have just come off a 6-game win streak. Coventry won 11 in 12. So they've set really strong standards, and that's why Ipswich have just never been able to get to the top of the table, because other teams have been in fifth gear through this season. Town still have 2 games in hand, but they've got these horrible away games coming, and now Portsmouth away looks like it's going to be way more difficult than it would have been if that game had actually taken place when it should have at the start of January. They've got to go back to Wrexham as well next week. So it's not... I mean, I always think it's a bit idiotic when you see games in hand to just add 3 points on for the team that's got them. I think it's not a hard mathematical exercise to, figure out the points per game and add that on. Instead, if you were to do that, Ipswich would, they'd pass Millwall, but, let's just add 6 points on for Ipswich's 2 games in hand and they're 1 point behind Borough. Don't think that's the most sensible logic. It's, I can see why fans of Ipswich would do it. I am one. I'm not going to do it because it's the best case scenario. And football fans love to imagine the best case scenario for their team and the worst case scenario for everybody else. But I don't know. I felt a little bit of kinship, actually, between Coventry and Middlesbrough fans after the game. It's always nice, isn't it, when you're not playing a rival for the rest of the season. And I saw a few back and forth saying, okay, it's done now, the 2 games. The Coventry have done the double. And maybe the Coventry fans were allowed to be magnanimous after taking top spot and having doubled Middlesbrough to say, look, it'll be us 2 in the top 2. And it could well be. And yeah, to bring this into the top 2 conversation now, I think we can all understand why Coventry and Borough have swapped places. And we cannot just look at a one-off game and an excellent performance by Coventry to beat Middlesbrough. And I'll try and do it because nobody bloody else will, because we can't have a sensible conversation about Frank Lampard. And the general football fan has a pretty reductive view of him for whatever reason. So I'll say Frank Lampard, Joe Edwards got their tactics absolutely spot on and nailed that. So someone on the internet has actually praised Frank's tactical acumen rather than criticising him, which tends to happen the majority of the time when we're talking about Frank Lampard. But we can't ignore a long trend down from Coventry and a long trend up from Borough. That's what's happened. So I do get why Borough are holding there as favourites, having overtaken. I must admit, I haven't checked the exact dates, but last time we did this was start of January. I don't know when the market actually moved. It was probably after the Sheffield United game. So this hasn't been long. And I use the word lag in these videos a lot. That, the market reacts after the fact. So yes, we get Coventry beating Borough, and I can see on that monitor right there, Coventry are top of the table. But that's where, again, don't just judge everything on the league table all the time. Do it when after 46 games, because it's objective fact and everything's done by then. But the table's objective fact now. I get it, but doesn't tell us everything we need to know, does it? And I get why Borough are still favourites. Obviously, it would be lovely for me sat here to know how they're going to react to losing to Coventry. Who are they playing next? Oxford. You would imagine. Is that at home? You would imagine. Why can't I see that on my list of fixtures here? Is it like a Monday nighter or something? Let me just click further ahead. Oh, so Oxford play in between time. Oh, that's confusing. They don't play Oxford at all. 21st of February. Do they? Yeah, they do. Oh, Footmob's well confused on fixtures here. Sorry, it's on completely the wrong page. My bad. Erase that bit from your memory. So, of course, you'd expect Middlesbrough to then beat Oxford and, can they then go on a winning run? And, that all looks absolutely fine. And you're trying to look at the long term rather than just losing the head-to-head against Coventry. So, I get it. And a lot of this depends on if Ipswich hit 4th or 5th gear, they are very much involved with this. If Ipswich continue to bimble, as they have done at times this season, I know you can throw me a nice long sample of Ipswich getting 2 points per game since, I don't know, probably November or something. But they had a bad start and they have been inconsistent. And believe me, I've been across it. So a lot of this relies on some competency from Ipswich. If we don't see that improvement, it will be Boro and Coventry in the top 2, and you can sort that however you see fit. I always hear a lot of fun. Oh, Ben, we don't care whether we're first or second. Be quiet. You'd rather be first, wouldn't you? But as long as I get it. As long as you're in the top 2, come what may, everyone's happy, aren't they? So that is how it all looks. There you go.